Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated economist here. You know, one of the questions that I get asked a lot, and I actually see this question amongst a lot of people who are trying to understand and learn what's going on within the economy, is that they know they have to do this for survival. Ultimately, this is what it is. This is like fighting for survival when it comes to trying to understand where it is that you need to put your money, how it is that you need to invest, where it is that you need to go for business, get a job, what skills you need to learn, you know, what areas of the world to even live in. All this stuff is all for survival and how to have the best life you can. And you know, a lot of times when I look out at the narrative that is being spoken when it comes to the economy, especially in the mainstream media, this corporate media, it is so misleading. It is so confusing. You put in all these like blames and the way it should be, and it gets mind-numbing when you try to wrap your head around it all. And this is really where I found that the things that I have studied, coming down to monetary policy, the Federal Reserve strategy, focusing in on how it is that they plan on keeping the debt markets rolling, keep them from freezing up, providing liquidity, dealing with the world reserve currency. All this stuff is they're so complex, so interacting. To try and get the bigger picture of it is like a lifelong pursuit. Nobody can really get their heads around it completely. And so when it comes to understanding the economy, it's really about understanding it for yourself. There's nobody out there. There's no video, not this video, not the video that some other YouTuber is doing. There's nobody on the news. There's no president. There's no Federal Reserve chairman that is going to come with the perfect plan that is going to fit your life. This is the part of like trying to understand this that has hit me the most, that I had to like try and understand. Is one of the reasons why following politics is so confusing, to try to understand the economy at the same time, or through the eyes of a political view. There are economic forces out there that are at play. Our government interacts with it. The financial systems interact with it. We as individuals interact with it. And once you understand how it is that these gears, that's really what it is, operate within the machinery, and you start to realize like the economy is the mechanical version of consciousness. Everything that we do took a world effort to accomplish. So these economic forces are not something that can change. They can be interacted with, they can be foreseen, they can be misunderstood, but they are always present. And this is where this channel really focuses in on trying to understanding these things for ourselves. This is how you survive. Like, I mean, I don't know how many people out there are really trying to survive or just trying to get that new Camaro, right? Like, I really want the Camaro. I do. But I cannot see myself spending money on a Camaro when there are so many other things I need to get done. Right? Because it's survival. I don't have a second chance after this. This is my last chance to do this. And somebody who is starting out in life at 18 years old may not understand that. Like, it's survival, man. We're just having fun. There's plenty of time, right? I'll do that when I'm in my late 20s, early 30s. Maybe, you know, I'll get started later. Too late, man. So I come down to these four basic economic theories, right? The Cantillon effect, the bullwhip effect, Gresham's law, and Triffin's dilemma. And by understanding these four economic theories, you can really begin to understand why it is that a lot of things that are occurring out there. Think about it. There was a time when everybody knew for sure that inflation was going to be tearing the world apart. What happened? What happened to everybody? I mean, I didn't think that. I knew it was going to be painful. The experience was going to be painful for a lot longer than people realized it was going to. And I think it's still going to be more painful than people realize. right? I don't think the Federal Reserve is coming to make things less painful. I mean, people want to believe that. You saw how excited they were about the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates, but yet lowering interest rates would typically mean that the Federal Reserve is seeing bad economic outcome coming, right? I mean, think about any time in history that they were lowering interest rates, the outcome shortly after that was not pleasant. And to understand why is the whole point of things like I talk about, all the stuff that I talk about on this channel. The reason why I'm bringing this stuff up is because I want people to join in on the live stream. The live streams that I do are very interactive. We read every single comment. We break down things when people are confused and they say, man, can you explain this particular thing again? We break that down. We have people within the comment section who are incredibly intelligent, who fill in the blanks for a lot of times when I, am not there to do it. It is amazing the amount of knowledge that is spread within the community here on The Uneducated Economist. It just blows me away. I know a lot of times when I speak on these videos, and especially recently, a lot of times people come to me and they're like, dude, I really love your videos, but they're over my head. Like, I don't understand a lot of the stuff that you're talking about. That's why I do these live streams. And I really encourage people, it's $1 a month. Think about it. It's $1. It's $1 to, what is that? $12 a year, $120 a decade, $480 for 40 years if you were to stick it out with me for all the dedicated, hard work, knowledge spreading stuff that I do. Right? And I'm not one to be like, I don't want people to think that I'm just doing this for the money. That's why I made it $1. I could have made it $10. I could have made it as much as I wanted, right? That's not the point of it. The point of it is that the people who are truly serious about this, once we get like-minded, then the serious topics that get discussed then get clarified. We together have a chance to understand the economy better than anybody else out there because we are living it as everyday people, the working class, right? See, a lot of times we are doing things and can see things that are happening with our own jobs, the 9-to-5 jobs that we do, that the higher ups, those people who are in charge of the money, who are looking for finance, all the big money men, all that other stuff, they're looking for the data that we are living in real time. If we could see that for ourselves, do you not understand how of a unique position that we hold? People told me all the time, they were like, dude, why didn't you make so much money? You could have made so much money off of lumber. You called out the lumber industry better and more accurately than even the top economist out there, bar none, right? I nailed the lumber industry, no pun intended, but I nailed it, right? And the reason is because I have a level of understanding of macroeconomics and economy in general, combined with the day job that I hold selling retail. It's retail lumber. I live in a location that has major lumber sales, timber, right? And by combining all this knowledge and all the things that I see firsthand, I was able to more accurately call out lumber than anybody else. Just some dude working retail at a mom and pa lumber yard in the middle of the Pacific Northwest, or actually on the coast anyway, right? And this is the same power that you have too within your own business. I don't care what it is you do. I don't care if you work at a restaurant. I don't care if it's at a factory. I don't care if it's driving cab, right? All these businesses have firsthand access to the data that those guys are looking for. And once we understand that for ourselves, that gives us a position unlike anybody else has. And a lot of people I hear people tell me all the time, they're like, dude, how come I don't see you just absolutely killing it? I'm doing my best, right? I went from being heavily in debt, drunk, doing terrible for myself, had no way of pursuing anything in my life, didn't know what I was going to go for, right? To now I actually have a portfolio of stocks. I own cryptocurrencies. I'm buying a house. I'm promoting YouTube channel. I'm doing things that are now actively participating within this. And I know, give me some time And I'm going to really call out some stuff that a lot of people are going to look back and say, man, I can't believe how accurately you got it. And it's not me. It's not even me doing it. I'm just interpreting the Federal Reserve and their monetary policy strategies. And once I figured out what it is that they were planning and had planned in the past to put us in the position that we are today, it is not confusing to me at all when I see all these people talking about lowering interest rates and raising interest rates and not understanding where it is that the Federal Reserve is planning on positioning. I'm not confused. Like, I mean, there's a couple of things that I might have gotten wrong, but I think, the understanding since then has really clarified a lot of stuff. I think probably if I was to call out one thing that I got wrong, I'm going to end this video because I got to go back to work. But I do want to call out one thing that I got wrong within this, and because a lot of people asked me that, I was just like, Duke, you never say anything that you got wrong, right? This is what I got wrong. I didn't think the Federal Reserve was going to get their Fed funds rate over 2.5%. The reason why is because once they got it over 2.5%, I believe that the balance sheet of the big banks would start to flip, where their liabilities became more than their assets are worth, right? Once that start to happen, then they would start to fail. Now, we saw a bit of that with the Silicon Valley banking, right? The Silicon Valley Bank. I did not know that they were going to deploy the banking term funding program, right? Almost happened about the same time. If you kind of go back and you look at it, but like once this particular interest rate starts to hit, I called out that 2.5 because that's as high as they could get it back prior to the pandemic, before they started really impacting the financial markets in a bad way. Understanding this now gives me a whole different understanding of where it is that the Federal Reserve is now positioning. Because I thought then it was just like, man, this is a very difficult position for them to be in. But then they deployed that tool, that monetary policy tool that nobody knew would take place, right? So, okay. Please join the live stream. We're going to do one tonight. There's a link down in the description for it. Uneducated economist, you let me know.